Good morning, YouTubers. I wanted to do a 10,000 mile update on my 2017 Rogue. I did an initial video when we bought it new, first of the year, and when I was doing the video, I couldn't get I couldn't get the remote start to work. I couldn't get the tailgate to open. I was having a little bit of trouble with that video, so it wasn't the best video, so I apologize for that. So I thought maybe I could get it right in this 10,000 mile update video. We will have owned this car 1 year on New Year's Eve. So, it's, 9 going on 10 months old. It's been just a great car. I mean, it's got 9,917 miles. Only thing done to it was the 5,000 mile service, and that was just oil change and tire rotation. So had a coupon. I think I paid $20, or maybe it was $29.99, and that included the rotation. So one thing I like about my Nissan dealership here, they send out a lot of coupons and promotions. It's a fairly new dealership, and they've built a huge superstore, so they're real good about sending out coupons and stuff. I guess they're trying to drum up business, but anyway, this car has been a fantastic little, well, I guess it's not super little. I guess this would be your medium sized kind of compact SUV. It's not as small as the Mazda, what is it, CX-3 or the new Rogue Sport, which is smaller, and like the Buick Encore or the Chevy Trax or what have you. But it's a good size, smaller SUV. Ours was the SV model, which is your mid-level trim, and it has the optional premium package, which includes a few extra things. You got your key fob here with remote or hands-free entry. The premium package included such things as the larger touchscreen with 360 camera, the bird's eye view camera, which is very nice. My daughter has been learning to drive on this car. She's going to be 16 in a little less than 2 months, so we're planning on putting her in this car. And that was a worthy option. I think it was less than $2,000 for that option. And to get all the cameras, including rear traffic alert and sensors, it beeps when it you get close to something. So that's great. That's been real handy. It also features where you can sync your phone and get text messages on the screen, which I feel really bad having this thing almost a year. We have not set that up yet, but I've got to figure out how to do that before she starts driving. As you can see, this car has the push button start, just foot on the brake. Everything does a little sweep there. I keep it in eco mode most of the time. You have a eco mode, sport, and with this CVT, which has probably been my biggest complaint with this vehicle, I've never owned a CVT vehicle before. It's not awful, but it's not my favorite. Luckily for 2017, Nissan did update and revise how the CVT operated, and they put in 7 simulated shift points. That helps it feel like a regular transmission somewhat, but it's still got kind of a rubber band effect as far as your power goes. You know, we're getting used to it. Fuel economy numbers have not been the greatest. We've been averaging right around let's see, yeah, 22.8. Now, this car does stay pretty much just in town. It does very little freeway driving. So I imagine on a road trip, you know, you might could push the upper 20s. But yeah, 22.8, that's the best we can get. I've been making the girls, my wife and daughter, leave it in eco mode because it really gets about pretty good. And plus the CVT doesn't allow the engine to rev out so much, so it's a little smoother, even though you're probably not getting as much get up and go and acceleration. But this number has grown over the year. It has stayed right at 20 for a good bit of the year. And as it's getting broken in, as you can see, 9,918 miles, the fuel economy's creeping up a little bit. So 22.8 for city driving is the best I've seen to date. You go over here to this screen. It has navigation. That's part of that option package as well. You know, it's not super fancy. It looks kind of like a Garmin, but hey, it does its job. No Apple CarPlay or Android CarPlay, which kind of stinks, but you know, you can Bluetooth your phone, audio, all that good stuff. Plus you've got an aux and an auxiliary, so that's nice. Dual zone climate control, where, you know, each side can, you know, adjust their temps to how they want it. You know, it's been very a good climate control system. It has extremely cold air and good heat. Also, speaking of heat, with the SV package, you get some nice things like, of course, heated seats, which is nice. And with this optional premium package, you get the heated steering wheel. So, and the whole steering wheel heats up, so it's really nice. It's a nice feature for the winter time. It really is. This right here, I think, is a bit of a cluster F. And I've seen in other reviews on the Rogue, people complaining about how all these buttons are down low, tucked to the left. And yes, it is kind of inconvenient. But once you learn it and get to know it, you can do it without really taking your eyes off the road. This premium pack also includes the powered liftgate. Maybe. Oh, you got to hold it. As you can see, powered liftgate. And then you can press it again. And she'll close. That is, having a power liftgate, I thought was a silly option, but with my wife being only 5'3" with an afro, and my daughter being the same size as her, that's really a good option because, you know, they don't have to reach. Well, I don't know if either one of them could reach it when it's in the up position. Okay. Also, with the SV, you get a remote start. This key fob, even though it's getting a little old, It's really lightweight and small, which is great. And it's got all, you've got 1, 2, 3, 5 buttons on here. I've never owned a key fob with so many buttons. Basically, you've got your panic, you've got your power tailgate, unlock, lock, and your remote start. In my first video of this car, I never could get the darn thing to remote start, but I think I got it figured out. You lock it first and press and hold the remote start button for about 5 seconds. And there you go. She'll fire right up. Let's take a peek under the hood. It didn't like that. Powered right off. Hang on just a second while I prop this. I don't like the fact this thing doesn't have hood struts. I haven't owned a car in forever that had a damn prop rod. Excuse my shakiness. Let's get this thing propped up. Okay, so basically we got the 2.5 4-cylinder that Nissan has been making for eternity. I think it dates back to about 2002 when the radical restyled Altima first came out. And I'm sure it's been updated and refined a little bit, but it runs pretty smooth. Just by looking at it, you can tell, it doesn't look high tech, kind of an old design, but hey, I think, it's pretty darn reliable. If it's not broke, don't fix it, but people complain the lack of power with this vehicle. I have not experienced personally myself when driving it a lack of power when in town. The car gathers speed. It's not a speed demon. It's not going to throw you in the back of your seat, but it gets up and goes just fine. And actually, I find myself speeding in town fairly easily once it gets rolling. So, sure, it could use an update. If they would throw the Nissan Juke's little 1.6 turbo in here, it'd probably do wonders for this little vehicle. But the 2.5, this thing, in 15 or 20 years, when it's got 200,000 miles on it, you keep the oil change, it's still going to be running great. It's time and chain driven, which I think pretty much all Nissans do now. So, you got low maintenance and, good reliability. It'll last for years and years. Numbers on it, I think, are about 170 horse, 175 torque. I may have those numbers flip-flopped, but that's pretty close. Got little LED running lights. The headlights are just halogen. Oh, I know what I wanted to try. Last time I had a hard time with this rear tailgate. Of course, you can open it with the button, but it also has just kick your foot under there and it'll open itself. I always try to get in too big of a hurry. Plus you have these, sorry it's so dirty back here. We use this thing, man. We use it. You can set these little dividers up, kind of put your groceries right there, or groceries in the back, and put your milk and soda cans and bottled waters here to kind of separate. You can create two tiers of you can come up here and do this. Now how the hell that'll benefit you, not real sure. or you can step it up, give it a little higher, you know, make a more even flat floor, but we just kind of leave it in the deeper position, and that works out pretty good. Pretty cool little features. You got little hooks, tie downs. You got an outlet back here for tailgating or whatever. But got the 60-40 split seat. Button there to shut the door. One other thing that makes this Rogue a standout is the rear seat legroom. Okay, I am 6'3". Ingress is very easy. I have lots of room under the seat to put my feet. Plus, I have lots of leg room, and the seat is set for me in the front for 6'3". I've got lots of headroom. Got nice little fold down cup holders here. Sorry, the kids, I got some junk back here. Probably one thing I wish this vehicle had, and going to the SL package would have solved that problem, was gaining leather seats. Don't get me wrong, I prefer cloth, and this interior, this cloth is a cool canvasy kind of feel, but it has stained, and we have tried to be careful, but I have a young son who has Asperger's. He's a little wild, short attention span, and it's kind of hard to, you know, explain to him to keep his feet and him remember. He doesn't remember. So as you can see, he's, you know, kind of bent these map pockets, stained, got stains here, and you know, well, you know, what can you do? I'm gonna have to clean it up real good here soon, before I hand it off to my daughter. She's insisting that I get it cleaned and detailed, and you know, she's a good girl. She makes great grades. She plays sports. She's up till 1 o'clock every morning doing her homework, you know, because she has sports every day in the afternoon. She's a good kid, and I always told her, I said, you know, you make good grades, you get involved, you do things, don't worry about a car, I'll get you a car. Yes, it's a nice car for a 16-year-old, but I know she'll be safe in it, and if she wrecks it, she wrecks it. I mean, you know, what the hell. Another little thing that I'm a little disappointed about, but it's our own fault, really. There really needs to be some type of protective plate, maybe, across this top part of the bumper for loading items. As you can see, we've picked up a nick, scratch, chips, various chips and scuffs, scratches, scuffs. You know, and that's just from my wife trying to heave and hoist items in and out of the back of the car. But small complaints. I'm gonna get me a tube of touch-up paint. We'll fix that. Let's go for a little ride. Excuse me. Get my seatbelt on. Okay, get her down into drive. Ready to go. Let's see, I'm not going to crack my window. I'll turn on a little climate control. I know what I wanted to show you. Go to reverse. Okay, there's your rear view camera on the left with trajectory. Okay, and as you can see, there's the Siri, they call it Siri eyes. I just call it bird's eye view. But look, you know, you can kind of get in a parking space here. And I'm not even looking, I'm just looking right at that camera. Now, when you're going forward, you can press the camera button and you can get some front shots, which is so nice. So when pulling in garages or other tight spaces, check that out. Beautiful. Beautiful. So yeah, that is very, very nice, especially for an upcoming young driver that's going to be needing to park in high school parking lot or any other parking space. Might save a bumper or two. All right, let's go for a little ride. Oh man, I'm right in the sun. I'm gonna hold this thing up. Hello, good morning. I'm gonna just kind of hold this thing out of the sun until I can get turned here. Sorry about that. It's about 8 o'clock on Sunday morning. A little bright. Okay, here we go. So acceleration, I mean, I'm a third throttle, 1/3. Gathering speed is not a problem. Now, where I have noticed the lack of power, let's say you're on the interstate, let's say you're running about 75 miles an hour, you got a jackass messing with you, or you got to get around some crazy traffic, or you just want to get out of a situation, you absolutely have to plant your foot to the floor to get any kind of passing power. And I'm gonna say it's only okay. It's, that's where your 170 horsepower really stands out as being lacking, because you really are wishing you had about 30 to 40 more horse. But when cruising, you can set the cruise control on 80, you can set the cruise control on 85 if you're brave enough, and this car will cruise all day, no problems at those high speeds. I do notice, if you go up an incline on the interstate, just even slight inclines, the CVT will kind of wind up and down, but there are no gear changes. You just look at the tach and see that it starts spinning higher to maintain that speed. The cruise control does a pretty good job at holding the speed. Another complaint about the car is when I am in the back seat riding on the interstate, the wind noise and road noise in the back is too loud for me to hear conversation in the front seat. You don't notice it when you're a front seat passenger. The kids don't complain about it when they're in the back, but they're usually, got their earphones in doing their thing. But whenever I ride in the back seat, there's wind and road noise coming around those rear pillars and that rear window back there, that I'm always asking, hey, y'all speak up in the front seat. I can't hear. So that's a complaint. Other complaint. I'm 6'3". I have the seat all the way back. Now, as you can see, my knees are up here against the dash, and I've got my feet, the gas pedal, it's all very close. So if I want to I'm flipping around here, but I've got this higher seating position where I have the good commanding view, right? So if I want to get a little more leg room and get my knee off this dashboard and let me stretch my legs out a little bit, I have to go to the power seat. The driver's seat is fully powered, and press the button that makes the seat go down. Okay? Lowers you to the floor. Now, as you can see, it gave me that extra room I needed for me to stretch my legs out. but I'm now sitting kind of down in a hole. So now I feel like I'm the short guy in the car. Changing the subject, I need to come film that old Mercedes. That car is cool. Teal green, seriously? That's a rare color. Let's get on the interstate. I'll show you. All right, it's to the floor. All right, we were able to do that fairly easily, but that was to the floor acceleration. But again, you can get to 80 miles an hour pretty easily. Get over here on some smoother asphalt. They're needing to repave this stretch of I-75. It's getting kind of beat down and worn. You can probably hear my complaint about the road noise a little bit right now. All right. So got the cruise set on 83. I got people passing me like I'm standing still. There's your blind spot monitoring. Another nice feature. I like where the blind spot monitoring is inside the car and not out on the mirror. When I have this car and then my main daily driver, my 16 Golf, the blind spot monitoring is out on the mirror, and in daylight I can't see it. So at 83 miles an hour, we're cruising at about 2200 RPM. It's pretty effortless, pretty easy. You know, you can drive with you know, just one hand, which of course I don't recommend. 10 and 2 is always the best, but you know, it's a nice, comfortable cruising SUV. Now, it's no Volkswagen or German or Mazda CX-5, or, you know, it does require some slight adjustment. This morning, it's tracking pretty straight and true, but if you get a lot of traffic out here with big trucks, or if the wind, you're getting any kind of wind, crosswind or what have you, this thing tends to kind of wander in its lane, and you have to stay on top of it. You're having to make not constant corrections, but you're having to, you know, adjust the wheel to keep your straight line. This morning it's tracking pretty good, handling pretty good, even around these trucks. But like I said, it's usually when traffic is super heavy and you know, you've got some sort of light wind in the air moving you around. But yeah, this is not bad. All right, we will exit off here. Oh, all right, this video is probably long as hell at this point. I think I covered everything. One option I could have gotten for the SV that I wish I would have slowed down a little bit and thought about is they offered a sun and sound package, which featured an upgraded, I believe, don't hold me to it, Bose stereo system, along with this upgraded and it included the panoramic sunroof. You know, I think it was another $1,500 to $2,000 option. I wish I would have investigated that, because I would have definitely checked that box. But when I bought this vehicle, it was New Year's Eve. It was late in the evening. Inventory was a little picked over. I like the color combination of this car. It has the optional pearl white paint, which is like a $400 option. So it's not the standard white, it's the optional pearl paint. So it's got a nice metallic and a slight little, you know, off-white shade to it. But I really wanted to get the premium package that this one has, but I didn't know about the sun and sound, and I really wish I had been a little more educated about the packages on the Rogue when I was there that evening. So, oh well, it's no big deal. You know, my daughter's going to be driving this car. I guess it's, you know, it's definitely safer not to have a big panoramic sunroof for, you know, crazy teenagers. They might, you know, be hanging out of it drinking beer or something, but I doubt that. But so it's just safer not to have it anyway. So, oh well. This car, sticker price on this car was right around $28,000 with the options. And we negotiated down to around 25. And you know, I feel like that was because it was the last day of the year last year, so they gave us some extra discounts. So, you know, not a bad value. You can get into an SL Platinum all-wheel drive with all the options and the fancy saddle brown leather interior, and those darn things are about 35 grand. Yes, that would be nice, but to me, it's not worth $10,000 more than what I paid for this. This has a lot of content for the money. You know, think about it: remote start, heated seats, heated steering wheel, power tailgate, got the good camera system, navigation. The stock radio is pretty darn good anyway. Power seat. I'm sure I'm missing a lot more, but you know, this car is pretty darn well equipped for $25,000. So the Rogue, I do recommend it, but I know there are better choices out there. I would have considered a Mazda CX-5. I like how those look, especially the 17s. They are so handsome. And of course, they're sporty to drive. Let's turn our front camera on and see where the hell my cat's decided to go. There she is. She's moved. But anywho, glad y'all joined me this Sunday morning. And anyway, y'all have a great day, and I appreciate you watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I know I don't have a lot of subscribers, and I know my camera work is very novice, but I am going to be upgrading GoPro and, you know, getting some better camera work and editing going on. But anyway, y'all have a great day. Appreciate it. Later. Peace.